Hey there, it's Eric. I'm back with another video here. This is video number 4 of the How to Become a Better Learner series. And in this series, in May 2018, I'm on my blog, The Mastermind Within. I'm going through the 4-Hour Chef and talking about how to become a better learner. And then outside of showing or telling people how to become a better learner, I'm also applying what I'm learning in the book on the piano. And so last video, I was talking about deconstruction. In the 4-Hour Chef, the learning strategy, the becoming a better learner strategy is that after you find your goal, after you figure out what you want to be better at, then you apply a strategy that has an acronym DISS, D-S-S-S. And this stands for deconstruction, selection, sequencing, and stakes. So last video we were talking about deconstruction. And so I'll take one step back. That my goals for becoming a better piano player this month are to, number 1, become better at sight reading, and number 2 is to improve my musical ear so that I can either create my own music or also listen to popular songs and be able to recreate those. And so then on the last video, I was talking about how was I deconstructing how to both be a better sight reader and then also how to understand a little bit more about music theory. And so I was talking a little bit about the circle of fifths, which after some further research, what I was saying on Friday probably wasn't very accurate. And then I dove down the rabbit hole the last couple days here since that last video, and now I understand a little bit more on what I think I need to do. So in this video, talking about selection, and that's the second part of the learning strategy, in that it's essentially applying the Pareto Principle, saying that it's the 80-20 principle, saying that thinking about what are the 20% of things that I can do that will result in 80% of the results happening. How can I do as much as possible in a short amount of time that will give me the most results? So I was thinking about that as I was doing my research, and then also thinking about like what was I actually trying to accomplish. And so then the other day when I was talking about the circle of fifths in the third video, I don't know what I was saying. We don't need to revisit that too much. But what I was saying and I was thinking is like, how do you start to do chord progressions, and how are songs actually created? And so then like I said, I went down the rabbit hole again a little bit, and I started to learn about how songs are created from different chord progressions. So what I mean by that is, first off, when someone goes to create a song, they pick a key. And so, like, for example, the C, if we wanted to do in the key of C, then it would be using the C scale, which is the following. So basically, the whole song is just playing these notes. I mean, in different combinations. But anyways, so that's number 1. But then you start to think, it's like, okay, then the music theory is that you go through progressions of the different chords, and each of these notes, there's 8 notes in a scale, but then there's chords associated with each of these notes. So all of those have a chord associated with them, which I've learned now. But then to take it a step further, the chord progressions, I've said that a couple times, but I haven't talked about it. But for example, a progression of 1, 5, 6, 4 So again, there's 8 keys here. 1, 5, 6, 4. And whole songs have been written just going through those 4 notes. Usually that's done on the bass line. But what I mean is that I should be doing it down here actually. I mean, I bet you can imagine and think back to some songs that just have that simple 4-chord progression. And then that song is just over and over and over. And so that's what I was learning, and then I was doing some improvisation. Because I think that, so number one is that this is more geared towards the ear learning, and then the second part of my goal of that, understanding the theory behind it, that a lot of mainstream songs, it's just a simple chord progression. And so if I can figure out the chord progression, and figure out what key they're in, then that should be able to allow me to figure out what the song is, or like how to play it. I don't know, that's just my thought. But going back to the selection bit, since the other day, like I think I've been able to learn quite a bit more, and I think that was really key, understanding that there are written rules for chord progressions, and that's how modern music is made. So I'm going to play a little bit for you here, using that 1, 5, 6, 4, and I'm going to do it in the key of C and just play a little bit here. Yeah, so again, just that I was just messing around, but as you could hear, just a simple, just going through that 1, 5, 6, 4, I was able to then tap into some different sounds and go through that. It didn't sound amazing, but that was just off the top of my head, just like going through it and playing the notes in the chord, and I think it sounded okay. I don't know, I'd have to get your opinion on it. But yeah, like picking a key, picking a chord progression, then just playing that's how music's created. And like I said, like now I can play, I mean, I just played a song for you, which a couple days ago I wouldn't have been able to do that. I would have had to read it. So I don't know. I'd have to ask you if that was good, but I think that just through my research in the past couple days and figuring out, like, again, applying the Pareto Principle. What are the 20% of things I can do that can result in 80% of the results? I can now play a song without music. And yes, I wasn't great, but I could do it. And so I think that was part of the selection piece. And so next video, now I'm going to talk about the next part of the learning strategy learned in the 4-hour work week of sequencing. So once we figured out what we want to learn, we figured out what goes into learning it, and then figuring out what are the important pieces of learning, then now what are the different steps and what is the correct ordering of those learning blocks. So looking forward to chatting with you then. Hope you have a good day, and thanks for watching until this point. Hope you enjoyed it.